It's normal to be a bit daunted when you first meet Joe Manganiello up close in person. For one thing, the megabuff 6'5" frame immediately fills almost any room. Or in this case, Deal or No Deal Island Banker's temple set just outside of Panama's Bocas del Toro. Throw in the fact that the 48-year-old is famous for playing, among other things, a werewolf as well as a stripper named Big Dick Ritchie, and one can't help but be slightly on the cautious side upon introduction. Which is what makes the actual meeting so disarming when the star struts into the temple and turns out to be so normal. Manganiello may have gotten viewers all hot and bothered in steamy projects like True Blood and Magic Mike, but now it is the contestants under his watchful eye as Deal or No Deal Island hosts that are feeling the heat as they compete for ungodly sums of money under the glaring temple lights. But even with all that pressure, the players have found an unlikely ally in the game master standing by their side. He is this guy who comes off big, scary, and intimidating, but he is just a nerd, says one of the Season 2 cast members, Alexis Leet. He loves to just be himself. He loves cracking jokes. He's witty, he's funny, and he has a really kind heart. Like the rest of the cast, Leet was shocked at how down-to-earth and approachable Manganiello was throughout filming on Season 2, which premieres January 7th on NBC. He is so not superficial, Leet continues. He's so over all of the glitz and glam and different people trying to use and abuse. I'm constantly trying to break the stereotype of what people think about me based off the way I look, and I feel like he's doing the same for an established actor of Manganiello's caliber. Hosting a new hybrid reality adventure meets game show entry was certainly a risk in terms of how Hollywood purists would react to such a move. However, not unlike on Deal or No Deal Island itself, big risks often pay off, and the thespian has shined in his new role, winning over new fans in the process. The game master has leaned on his dramatic background to display gravitas when necessary, but has also paired it with a natural sense of geeked-out fun that is simply impossible to resist. How would you describe your hosting style? It does feel different to me from some of the others out there. Joe Manganiello. I think it's making people feel like they can trust you, but also, coming from a classical theater background, understanding where the stories are. And then with backgrounds in improv and documentaries, not being afraid for the story to unfold and not to interfere with it at all. It's like my octopus teacher. I'm not here to interfere with nature. I'm here to observe, and I'm here to be a field general for the rest of the producers and the production to get what we need in order to make the most compelling story and try to help push that magnifying glass somewhere. And also, this is just a random weird fact, but I was a compulsive math nerd. My whole life, numbers are very comforting. I was great at math. I almost had it perfect on the math SATs. So there's a math brain mixed with a theater brain, mixed with a documentarian, mixed with a survivor junkie. So that was in the gumbo pot when I got here. And I think from there it was just figuring out what kind of host I was going to be. When Boston Rob hit that $1.5 million target in Season 1 with the crossbow, I realized, oh, I'm not a referee who's just going to put his hands in the air that the field goal was good. I'm out there high-fiving the players because I just can't believe what I just watched. And so I'm a bit more interactive maybe than the other hosts. I get to ride the roller coaster. And being a host where there's this ominous banker floating somewhere allows me the position where I'm on their team, but I also am an agent of chaos. I want you to be scared when you should be scared, and I want you to rise up in the face of adversity when it's time to do that as well. I'm like dad on a vacation with the kids. We're having fun, but then all of a sudden dad has to be dad. Even after 25 years, there are still people in Hollywood who thumb their nose at the reality competition genre. When you took the job, did you have any trepidation about how people in the industry were going to view that? I'd gotten to a place in my career where I didn't care what anybody else thought. If it's the right job for me, and I know that I could do a great job, then who cares? Once branding became a thing for performers and they became very concerned with all of that, as a Gen X person who holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Classical Theater, that wasn't really ever my concern. It was just telling a good story. My heart and my mind were in the right place with this, where I just thought, they're calling the right person. I would love to run this. I know how to run this. I can't think of anybody else who they should hire instead of me. And all I want is to make the best show possible for people at home. There's entertainment that makes people think about their life, and there's entertainment that takes people away from how difficult life is. And I knew that this could absolutely be something that could take people's mind off of life. But also, there are really heartfelt moments that I try to inject last season, like talking to Jordan about what she would do with the money if she won. And she had had real difficulty getting pregnant, and the bills were piling up, and she wanted to do IVF, and she was very open about that with tears in her eyes. There are things about this that transcend being a game show where you're really dealing with human beings. And there's a part of me that's like, that's what I want to turn on the TV and see. I want to have fun and then have these really poignant moments. And I think it does have the capacity to do that. I don't think that I'm being a crazy person for saying that. I don't know if it's the stigma coming off of hosting for actors. I mean, American actors can do American commercials. And when I came to LA in 2000, if you were a film actor, you couldn't do TV, so you had to choose one or the other. And then HBO happens, and we start rethinking what TV could be. And then for those that golden age of HBO, all those shows were better than everything in the movie theaters. And I was part of that wave. And so that got destigmatized. And being on a TV show is actually more prestigious than being in movies. And then again, it's like, well, now you're getting commercials, so you're allowed to do a commercial in the United States. And now this great hosting job comes up, and it's like, I really don't even care what anybody says. I mean, it was like Magic Mike. Are you going to do Magic Mike or not? If Steven Soderbergh is directing, I'll do anything he says. I don't care. Am I going to do this vampire werewolf show? If Alan Ball is writing it and Anna Paquin is acting in it, I'll do whatever they want. And we certainly had an all-star team aligned for this, and I knew we were going to do it right. What makes you most excited about Season 2? I just think it's Season 1 times 10. We went away, and we looked at what worked, and we looked at what didn't work, and we really thought about the players and the audience at home. It's everything that they love from the first season, just improved. We've tightened it up. And sorry to everybody in the Season 1 cast, which was amazing, but the Season 2 cast is on a whole other level. And we knew that from the submissions.